Hi there, and welcome to this episode of Live Your Life by the Numbers. Today, we're going to do a very heavy deep dive into the three life path. Now, I've shown you how to compute your life path number, but for those people that are listening in for the first time, let me say your life path number in numerology, the study of numbers, is very, very easy to compute. You compute it by adding together your month, your day, and your year of birth, which we're going to show you in a moment. We're going to go through the number of Hillary Clinton in this episode, and you'll see how easy it is. But what is the life path? The life path is the path that you must follow in this life in order to be successful. Now, you and I might have the same 1 through 9 life path. I might have an 8 and you might have an 8, but my 8 life path, which deals with materialism, magnetism, balance, it's a very powerful number, might be made up of different numbers than yours, because my month, day, and year of birth is different than your month, day, and year of birth. Now, we could have the exact same birthday number, month, day, and year of birth, but because we have different names and the letters of my name, my first, my middle, and my last name don't vibrate to the letters of your name, we're going to have similar aspects, but we might be totally different people in many ways. So let's go straight to sharing the 3 life path number. Now, as I mentioned once before, the number 1 life path number says, I'm the leader, I'm the rock, I'm the best, I'm out there, and I'm number 1. And many a number 1 life path number is a number 1 because they must learn in this life to be successful. They have to be the starters. They already have the gifts to be a starter and get things going, but you just got to get up at some point and do it. Now, that's not the same vibration they're going to carry when they're young, when they're very, very young. And I have a book out there, Raise Your Kids by the Numbers, which discusses the vibration of children. But when you're young, you could be headstrong. You could also be just the opposite, very, very meek and shy. Now, if you're a number 2 life path, you're the peacemaker. You're somebody that's very diplomatic, sensitive, kind, persuasive. Now, the 3 life path is a great life path because the number 3, anywhere it's placed, is the joy giver. It's a very, very creative number, and it's all about the ability to self-express, to express yourself. And one of the important things about the 3s is they show up everywhere and they have a very strong financial pull. They are artists, they are cinematographers, they are writers, they are attorneys that have the gift of gab. When I say the gift of gab, I'm talking about the gift of really strong persuasion. They are hairdressers. They are party givers. Anybody that is extremely self-expressive, that has a heavy 3, is bound to be a money magnet in this life if they go out there and they use their gifts to bring illumination and joy to the public. Many of our famous singers are 3 life path numbers. Okay, so I've mentioned what the 2 says, what the number 1 says. The 3 is without a doubt the life of the party. Anybody with a heavy 3 is the life of the party, has great talent, creative genius. Now, it's an introverted number. What are the introverted numbers? 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. These are introverted numbers. What are extroverted numbers? Because in numerology, we use the numbers 1 through 9. The extroverted numbers are the even numbers, 2, 4, 6, 8. The 11 becomes an extroverted number because 1 plus 1 equals 2. Your master numbers, 2 plus 2 in the 22 master number becomes an extroverted number. The 33 master number, 3 plus 3, even though it's an introverted number, becomes an extroverted number. The 44 master number, when it shows up, is made of 2 4s, which are extroverted numbers, becomes a 44-8 extroverted number. Now, the good part is that the 3, you'll usually see Jupiter very positively placed in the life path number of the 3. And we all know that wherever Jupiter is placed, you've got really a bonus there because Jupiter is the joy giver. It expands anything you do. So if you're a 3 life path, it expands your ability to be self-expressive. And also, if you're a negative 3 and you're a depressant, it's going to expand that aspect of your personality too. So the 3, as I mentioned before, is one of the luckiest numbers of all the numbers 1 through 9 in the master numbers. The 3 is lucky with its high financial pull, and also in its astrological natal chart, you're going to find Sagittarius, probably because of the self-expression. And Sag is very truthful when it expresses itself, as well as Libra. As I mentioned, a lot of attorneys, people in the law profession, they have a tendency to be attracted to law and can also argue 2 sides of an issue. So the number 3 has a joie de vivre all by itself. I often say if you go to a party and someone's wearing a plant on their head, I can guarantee you they've got a number 3 life number in their life path number, prominently placed, usually someplace. We also have the family of 3 vibrations. Now, even though in numerology we're working with 1 through 9, I'm putting in the family of 3 vibrations now to show you, because in later chapters, I'm going to be teaching double-digit numbers. So I want you to know that the 3 shows up as a 3. I kind of left the 12 out there. 1 plus 2 equals 12. You'll see people with a 12 birthday. You'll see people with a 21 birthday. That's the middle number of your life path number. The 30 is a life path number. Now, the rest you won't find in life path. You might find them in a life path number, but you won't find them in a birthday number. But a 30, anything with a 0 in it, is a cosmically protected higher version of a number. So a 10, the 0, is a higher vibration of the vibration 1. The 20, the 0 in the 20, is a higher vibration of the number 2. 30 is a higher vibration of the number 3. And since we're talking about number 3s, anybody that has a 30 birthday loves to talk, and loves to travel. The 3s are very curious, inquisitive individuals, and traveling is something that you will usually find that they love to do. 39 is also a travel number. The 9 represents humanity. So the 3 represents joy and the 9 humanity. 48, 4 plus 8 is a 12. It's also a 3. 5 plus 7 becomes a 3. It's a 12, reduces to a 12. 66 is 6 plus 6 is a 12. 7 plus 5 is a 12. So basically, most of these numbers, with the exception of the 66 and the 48, they are introverted numbers, where the 66 and the 48, that both become a 3 are extroverted numbers, okay? Now, the introverted numbers, what is it about the introverted numbers? Well, they work very well by themselves. They work very well alone, while the extroverted numbers like to go out and seek people, like to be with people, like to create with other people. They are very gifted with getting groups together and like-minded people together to accomplish a common goal, okay? As I mentioned before, the 3 is often the life of the party and very successful in whatever its occupation, whether it be an actor, an artist, a trial attorney, writers, singers, party planners, Toastmasters, anywhere you go and everywhere you go, that there is the spoken and the written word, you're going to see very, very often a 3. And they're also very ambitious. You know, they make money easily and they put themselves out there on the internet, on YouTube, on websites, because they are ambitious, okay? Now, later we're going to see that there are other places that the 3 can show up and can bring you fame and fortune, okay? And that is going to be basically a 3 could show up in your achievement numbers. And I've mentioned before, your achievement number is very easy to determine, to find. You add your month and day of birth together, not your year, and that's what you must achieve. So my achievement number is I add 12 plus 28, I'm a Capricorn, and I get the number 40. And the 4 is the foundation we put under anything. It's a very ambitious builder. The feet are on the ground, and we build, no matter what we do, we build from the bottom up in a solid way that is usually economical and sturdy. So with the 3, it's important to remember that the 3 has a very, very lucky, successful pull, even on the spiritual level. So if you are a number 3, look out and get out there and start creating. There will be other aspects. You might have a 3 birthday, which is very lucky for you. You know, either a 12, a 3, a 30 birthday, during a 21 birthday. The 21s are the best in almost everything they do. If you have a 21 birthday, the birthday number really has a great influence between 27 and 54. And I'm going to get to that in another show when I discuss all the birthday numbers for you. So let's look at the positive aspects of the number 3. It's creative. It's a happy number. Positive. When it's happy, it's really happy, okay? It's optimistic, it's imaginative, it's convivial, it's effervescent, it's appreciative. And, you know, when you're appreciative and you live in gratitude for all the things that the universe sends you, the universe just keeps sending it and sending it and sending it. So you may want to say that your gratitude grows on a daily level, that your income grows on a daily level. It's a very positive way of living every day, to say my income constantly grows, and watch it grow. Say it a couple of million times to yourself every day. You won't even have to worry about making a living. The 3 is very friendly, it's sociable, it's enthusiastic. And it is really a very, very fun-loving number to be around. On a passive level, you know, it's a mediocre vibration. It's boring, indifferent, melancholy, unmovable, cheerless, petty, petty, not a very nice vibration. Timid, reserved, moody, and emotional. On a negative level, the 3 can be very faddish, but I'm not talking about faddish. Well, the latest fad is, I would say they're faddish by being outside the norm, being really ridiculous in their fashion statements. On a negative level, they're gloomy, very pessimistic. As high as one could go in the positive vibration of the 3, that's as deep a dive it could do emotionally. So the number 3 must be very careful of a vacillation of emotions. Ostentatious, it could be overly verbose. We certainly have heard people that are very, very nervous just chatter and chatter and chatter away. There is nothing worse than a chronic complainer. A chronic complainer on the spiritual level and on the vibration level. And in numerology, we're talking about vibrations. The more you complain, the more the universe will give you something to complain about. So it is not a positive vibration for you to make a habit of. It can be hostile and gossiping. Remember, what goes around comes around. And also snobbish, okay? As I mentioned, the life path number, we're going to see how we compute it. You'll also find the 3, as I mentioned, in your birthday. I mentioned the achievement number of your month and day of birth using mine, 12 plus 28 being a 40. 4 plus 0 is 4. It's the foundation number. Pinnacles of attainment, we're going to go through in a later chapter. All forms of challenges, and we know that the number 3 also carries the vibration of the letter 3 in the alphabet, and that is a C, an L, and the U. Now, the letter C is a very cheerful number. Anybody's name starts with a C. The first 3 years of their life, starting with 0, 1, and 2, is going to be on a happier note. The letters of your name that start with an L, Linda, Lyle, Lehman, Leanne. This is another letter that carries the 3 vibration, and the number U also carries the 3 vibration. Many U's, believe it or not, it's the 21st letter of the alphabet. They are very successful writers, okay? So let's look again. We're looking at Sag. We're looking at it, an odd number, an introverted number, a feminine number ruled by Jupiter, Sag, or Libra. Forget about the line across Libra. It's supposed to be underlined. And let's look at some of its gifts, as I mentioned. The gift of words, the gift of imagination and inspiration, fantastic emotion, self-expression, very creative geniuses, especially in the arts. The number 3 has a prophetic aspect to it. It's almost like the number 2. The number 2 receives vibration. The number 3 pops right into the head. It's optimistic, it's happy, it learns very, very quickly, has a very keen, brilliant mind, ambitious. They think large, and as I mentioned before, they are money magnets. Now, are they practical? Not really. Not really. They have a tendency sometimes that they make a lot of money and they also spend a lot of money. They're very colorful people. The 3 very frequently does not like heavy labor. So I would think that a number 3 would be a great apartment designer. It could come in and say, in that corner, you could feng shui that corner, or you could do this with that section of your house, but they certainly aren't going to be as happy with dirt, yet they happen to be fantastic builders. My son's life path number is a 48-3. And he loves to take homes and gut them and put them back together his own way. And at the same time, he's an attorney. So, he is ambitious in two areas of his life. As I mentioned, they have a tendency to scatter anything, money, clothes, jewelry, but they do want the best of life, and they have to be careful of scattering their energies and finishing what they begin. Okay. I mentioned before that they can make themselves very nervous because their mind is always going. They have an idea a minute. So they can talk themselves into happiness. They can talk themselves into moodiness. They can talk themselves into misery. Okay. They have a tendency to talk a lot. They've got to be careful of exaggerating, being overly talkative, and gossiping. Okay. They normally have lots of friends, both sides, women and men. They're capable of strong love and loyalty and sacrificing for loved ones. They have a lot of interesting experiences that are novel, especially when they tell the story of how this or that happened to happen. Beauty and charm and attractiveness are the attributes of what the number 3 is looking for. They're very sensitive to criticism, especially as a child. So if you're around any child that's a 3 life path, well, first of all, we have to be very, very careful with criticizing children. There's a way to get your message across without being overly tough with kids, because when they're children, they're vibrating lots of times to the negative aspect of the vibration, because they're not formed yet. They have no experience that all that positivity lives out there in the world. But if you know your child's month, day, and year of birth, you've got a head start, because you know what your child is capable of, and you can move your child or your loved one in that direction. As I mentioned, they're very colorful in all forms of living. They're generous people. They're very give people, and they're very forgiving. So let's look now. We're going to compute Hillary Rodham Clinton's number. Now, Rodham was Hillary Clinton's middle name. It was her maiden, not her middle name, excuse me, I've got the hiccups. I had them yesterday too when I was filming. Goodness. Rodham was her maiden name, and Clinton was her married name. Now, when you change your name because you're married and you decide that you're going to hyphenate your name, or you're going to drop your maiden name and you're going to use your spouse's name, it's going to take about 5 years before that vibration works its way in. So don't think you're going to take your spouse's name immediately and that it's going to bring you all the vibrations that you lack in your name. We're going to get to that later. But let's look at Hillary Clinton's birthday. She's born on October 26, 1947. And her life path number is, when we add the numbers together, it comes to a total of 1983. And when we add the numbers across, we get 1 + 9 + 8 + 3 equals a 21. And what did I tell you about the 21s? They are brilliant in almost anything they do, especially in the form of writing and any form of creativity. And we know that she was a brilliant student, I believe, at Harvard. And 2 + 1 is a 3. Let's look at her month of birth. Her month was October, and it's the 10. And anybody with a 10 in their life path number usually is out there and independent at a very early life for some reason. The 26 is an 8. 2 plus 6 is 8, but it is a very, very loving, affectionate number with children and animals and people in general. And in a lot of the pictures we see with Hilary, she was incredibly self-expressive and is self-expressive on almost anything that topic that she speaks about on any issue. And I am positively convinced that she was a very, very affectionate mother. Her birthday is composed of 2 double digits, the 10, which is the higher vibration of the number 1, and the 26, which is a higher vibration of the number 8. So she's got 2 double-digit numbers that I just told you a little bit about. And 1947 vibrates to a 21, which is probably one of the greatest numbers I've ever seen. So I wanted you to see that. The 1947, as I mentioned, reduces to a 21, which is a highly successful number. And that 26th birthday of hers is a very forceful, powerful, executive number. It also has a very good financial pull to it. The number 10 is the number of perfection. And as I mentioned, the 21 coming off of 1947 is the best of what it does in any field. And that the number 3 life path number, her path of success, would be to be very ambitious. And we see that Hillary Clinton, who I believe is now 75, she's going to be 76. Is she going to be 76? She's going to be 75 this year. Is a very ambitious number. If you want to know more about double-digit numbers, I have a number of books out there. I don't know if this is going to come up, but we're going to try and see. I'll show you the books that I have up there. Let's see if you can see this. I won't know until I see it later, but I have 4 books posted out there. One is Live Your Life by the Numbers, Volume 1 and Volume 2, Raise Your Kids by the Numbers, which is all about children, and Number Magic, which is the number of the double-digit numbers and the power of the double-digit numbers. Now let's take a fast look at Hillary's name, which is kind of like a little extra thing I'm going to add on here. As I mentioned, when a woman takes her husband's name, that name isn't really going to take effect until about 5 years. So in numerology, even though this is about the 3 life path, I'm going to show you here how we would be computing people's names. We put the number vibration on top of all the vowels. So in Hillary, we have the vowel of the I, which is a 9 vibration. The A is a 1. And if there's no vibration in the last syllable of the name, the Y becomes a vowel. So you see, I have the 6 above the O in Rodham and the 1 over the A. And then she picks up some more 3s, as you can see in Clinton. She picks up a 3 under the C and a 3 under the L. So when we look at these numbers of Hillary Clinton's over here, not here, excuse me. When we look at Hillary Clinton here, and we look at her numbers, basically, we notice that she does not have a lot of 2s, okay? She has no 2s, no 2 in her maiden name, Hilary Rodham, no 2 at all. she picks up a 2 in the T of her name in Clinton. But without the 2 in her name at birth, it means she must make up that vibration. So we know that she has a 1 in Hilary. She has no 2. She has the 3 in Hilary. She has the 4 in the M in Rodham. We don't see a 5 there at all in Hilary Rodham. She might have it in her middle name. I didn't put the middle name up if she was born with it, but she does pick up the 5. In Clinton, she has the 6 in Rodham. She's got the 7 in the Y in Hilary. She's got the 8 in the letter Hilary. She's got the 9 in the I in the number Hilary. So from what I'm looking at, just in Hilary Rodham, she is missing the 2 vibration. She's got no B, she's got no K, and she's got no T in Hilary Rodham. And she's missing the 5. So if we add them together, she would have, which I will teach you later, a karmic number of 7, which would mean she would have to be do a deep dive in analyzing things in life and becoming a researcher, a writer. And we all know that she has accomplished those things. Without any 5 in her name at birth, it meant that she would lack the flexibility that other people have. And she would be uncomfortable with change, but we know that she has made up that vibration, because in politics, you are always changing. And she has really spent a great deal of her time on these missing elements, especially that number 5, politics, and the law, believe it or not, vibrate to the number 5, as well as travel, change, always being on the go. As I mentioned, no 2 vibration in her name, no B, no K, and no T would mean that she's internally a highly sensitive person, and she would have to become more statistical in life, more persuasive, and that the devil's in the details. And we certainly know she knows how to do a deep dive into the details. We know that she was a brilliant student. She was a brilliant lawyer. She worked in the Nixon impeachment program. She's a great writer. And she's just an ordinarily magnificent person. But note, her husband's last name has managed over the years to really help her a great deal by giving her those missing vibrations that she didn't have before, okay? In Clinton, she picks up the T. She also, which is a 2 vibration, she also picks up the N, which is a 5 vibration. So she picks up immediately those vibrations that she was missing in marriage. She was missing outside of marriage, excuse me. And those 2 letters that she picked up really rounded out her name magnificently. So that's it for the number 3, life path. That's a deep dive we've just done. And I've covered other sections that I'll be teaching you in other episodes of Live Your Life by the Numbers. I want to thank you very much for coming. If you like and you want to subscribe to the show, please do so by hitting the subscribe button down there. Please send me some notes, a message. Tell me what you want to learn more about so that I can show you and teach you that which you want to learn about. And remember that please review. I have 4 books out on Amazon. I welcome the opportunity for you to read them. They're extremely easy to read and will show you how to compute almost anything you want, what foods you eat, what colors are your best colors, your lucky numbers. We're going to have shows on all of these numbers. And I really, really appreciate your coming. I look forward to seeing you in the future. And don't forget that every day is a precious day, and it's more precious than you know. So live your life by the numbers, make the best of it. And I hope to see you on my next episode. Bye for now. This is Sylvia DiPietro.